much liquor that I'm sipping. I think I need to move a little different. Feeling like they're trying to get me. I'm trying to shine, I'm trying to make it out the city. Breaking loud and make a living.
Alright YouTube, what's up? My name is Andrea. I am coming today to make my first YouTube video. I'm trying to document my Forex journey. First video is just kind of explain how I learned about Forex and what I do now and what my plan is going forward in the future. So for me, I was introduced to Forex. So first of all, currently I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse. I graduated nursing school in 2019 in June, and I took my first job in August of 2019. Yeah, I was introduced to Forex back in like February, March of 2020 from my husband's uncle. And that particular uncle, he's always trying to move and shake. He always got a little, little side hustle to make some extra money. So for me, initially I was like, oh no, because this is what he do. He be trying to make money, a little side hustle that really be kind of costing him more money than it be making him. And I don't feel like being a part of anything like that. So I was skeptical at first, but then like when we got into the like ebbs and flows of it, like and learning about what Forex was, I learned that it was legit. My whole thing about the whole situation was that we were working with people that were kind of like an IML situation. It was a pyramid scheme situation. So we weren't really learning how to trade. We were following this one guy on Zoom, and he was not winning very many trades. He lost us a couple of dollars. I think in that whole experience, we probably lost about $2,000. And then we kind of put the situation down. We parted ways. And then like later on in that year, around fall time, we were brought back in the fold because some people who were in that group with the guy who was trading in that trading group, I think the group was like Lionsgate or some shit like that. Some of the group had dispersed and some people had broke off and they had their own little group. And so this little group that my husband's uncle was in was called like Lion's Den or some shit like that. So we hopped in with them because it was just, a group of people who I thought at the time were on the same page, wanting to learn how to actually trade so that we can make this, I necessarily wasn't at this time really focused on learning how to trade because I had just become a new nurse. This is my new career. I'm trying to see where this is going to take me. You know what I'm saying? So I was more so focusing on like this could be something for my husband to like focus in on. So that could be something that is his career path, because at this time he really didn't have a career path. He was doing odd jobs. He was mostly doing petitions and that whole thing. And I was fine with that because like I said, I'm focusing on my career, and my career right now is paying the bills, and we got 2 kids, and like there's a whole situation where we don't really necessarily want to be paying for daycare either. If he's working just to pay for daycare, then what's the point, basically? You know what I'm saying? So that's where my mindset was. That's where our mindset as a family was. So I was okay with him doing his petition thing and me doing my nursing thing, but the Forex thing was an opportunity for him to be home more, and so that we wouldn't have to go through that whole thing of childcare. Like in fall, when we jumped back in with this group, I thought they were all on the same page about let's all learn how to trade, and whatever resources we come forth with, then we can, share with the group and we can get on this journey together and learn. Problem being was they've had some signals going back and forth in the group, and the signals would be some of them would be lucrative. One guy, he probably really knew how to trade, but it was like, I would ask like, what book do you recommend? And they would just be like, oh, you just, stay in a group, you'll learn, we'll all learn. What? But it would be like passive aggressive in the group, because it would be like, stay in a group, you'll learn, we'll all learn. But then people would be like, ain't like nobody's contributing any trade ideas to the group. If you're not contributing trade ideas to the group, you don't need to have an opinion about this, that, and the third about what's going on in the group. And it was like, what the hell is this? It got to a point like, what the hell is this? And we're not gonna be a part of this. So probably like after 2 months of going back and forth with that whole situation, we were done, finished. And then so like me saying, I knew Forex trading was legit, but I didn't have the time for it. I didn't have the passion for it because I was just beginning my new passion as a nurse. So focusing on that, doing my thing, and then eventually it came to a point where I had enough experience that I was able to branch off into travel nursing around the time COVID happened. So I was travel nursing and I brought my family too. So my whole mindset once I was making that type of disaster pay is during COVID, that disaster pay for us was significant. I took a first local contract, it wasn't that great, but then I took my second contract in Texas, it was amazing. And so with that amount of money, I was trying to just find a side hustle that would support me having a combined of my work money and my side hustle money, like basically meet my income to where we're having the same amount of money that we had when I was traveling. So we thought about land. We quickly found out we couldn't do that, not because we didn't have the funds, but because we didn't have the credit. Once the credit issue popped up, I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna push the brakes. Let me get this LLC. Let me get into the retail business, sell clothes or something when we decide to settle down and go back home. But that would be when we settle down and go back home, you know, because we need a location. So got the LLC, started working on credit while we're in Texas, and then I took a contract in Chicago, worked there a little bit, still doing research on retail. We ended up getting in an accident, having to buy a new car. Biggest mistake I made financially is I bought a new car when I should have just got something used, or, you know, buy here, pay here, or like a cash car. When that happened, like that was my out. That was literally my out of a bill, but I didn't take it. So you grow, you learn, you know better, you do better. It took a large amount of our funds to just get a new car, get that situation rectified. And then I finished out my contract there, and then we decided to go to LA because my husband had a petition contract in LA that was paying pretty well. At least we thought, until we got there and we found out that that contract was actually not paying that well, because that contract had been, or that petition had been circulating in LA and California for about a good 2 years. So by the time him and his crew touched that contract or that petition, was no money to be made. So I actually had, prior to them even starting their work, I had tried to find a contract in LA for me to work nursing. And I just wasn't able to secure one that was worth it, because we were staying in like little town we were staying in, but we weren't in the city, but we weren't but like an hour out from the city of LA. And the contracts would be like in San Fran or somewhere else that would be like 2 hours a freaking way, or you know, they would have a contract near me, but it wouldn't just be worth it. Like, it would not be worth the headache to be here for 13 weeks, barely, you know, making it, because the contract is not even paying for what the hotel fee is a week. It was $2,300 a week, extended stay. And you know, from my plan, like how I was operating extended stay, like we basically did the extended stay route when we were in Chicago. And I don't like hotels. I really don't. I don't even like Airbnbs for real, because I don't like laying down other people's stuff. So for me, I would just buy like new covers, some little fleece blankets from Walmart. I would get like 2 of those, throw that on the bed, put a sheet over that, get my own pillows, get, you know, a shower mat and stuff like that, clean the room down real good, and we was good to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't had no problems. You know, with the extended stay, you got a refrigerator in there and all that. So like, it was the best option for us, because even in Chicago, like, we did Airbnb in Texas. It was expensive there. I would find myself paying like $5,000 a month, $5,000 to $6,000 a month. But in Chicago, that shit got ridiculous. They wanted like $13,000 a month in Chicago, and no, because I'm not even making that much for real. So you ain't getting no fucking $13,000. Like, I was really offended by that for real. But so yeah, oh yeah, and on our way to Chicago, I almost completely forgot about that. On our way to Chicago, our car ended up breaking down the end of Tennessee, like about to get into Illinois. We broke down. We had to spend like 2 days getting that situation rectified. I almost didn't make it to my orientation for the contract, and then so we had to pay money on that. So yeah, to fix the damn car, to then get into, you know, Chicago and have an accident sliding on freaking snow, because our truck at the time was a Chevy Traverse, but the Chevy Traverse was only a 2-wheel drive. So 2-wheel drive, big SUV, back heavy SUV, on snow, on fucking three inches of fucking snow on the highway. Yeah, we're going 30 miles an hour and we still slid, and like that was a whole situation. But going back to LA, so we met some financial hardships in Chicago. LA was just a big no-no because we spent all of our extra money that we had saved just trying to maintain, because you know it's not just me and my husband. Well, if it was me and my husband and we was down that bad, we can sleep in the car. But it's me, my husband, and our 2 young kids. LA was not it for us. It was expensive. We were not prepared. We didn't know any better. Now we do, and we just want to do better now. So my thing about how we got back to Forex, so because I got off track, me making that extra money kind of put me in the mindset of like, okay, I need to be able to do something on the side that will make me some extra money on the side so that I don't have to work as much at my job. Because yeah, I enjoyed doing the contract. I was kind of burnt out. So I was like, yeah, it's time to find something. And I was in that mindset when we were on our way to LA. Texas happened in September of 2021. And then I left that contract at the end of November, right before Thanksgiving 2021. And then I got my Chicago contract from like December, the beginning of December to 2021 to April 2022. And then from April 2022 to like mid-May 2022, we were in LA. So before I left Chicago, I had a conversation about, you know, just growing up Black and having financial hardships and trying to combat financial hardships with one of my patients. And we were like bouncing ideas back and forth. He was helping me bounce ideas back and forth. He was a sickle cell patient. I really love my sickle cell patients like that. But so having that conversation with him, in the conversation comes up, he's like, oh, you need to check out Earn Your Leisure. I didn't really have, like, I made a note of what he said, and then I really didn't pay it no mind. But on the trip to LA is when I actually was able to pull up YouTube and go to their YouTube channel. And the first video that popped up was a video about Forex, and then it was a woman trader. So then like my antennas went up, because before it was just me trying to support my husband into getting into Forex, but him really not taking it that seriously. So I really didn't take it that seriously. But now that I'm seeing this woman trader and she's talking these good talks, and like I'm really like engaged with her, so I go to look her up and find all about her. And so my mindset, because her course is like $3,500, I think. So my mindset was, okay, you know, I'm gonna go to LA, run it up, get this $3,500, get some trading capital, about $5,000 to $10,000, so that I can really make this bag, and then I probably won't even have to go back to work. So that was my mindset. But then LA like took all the fight out of me. I was boom, 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 knocked down, like took all the fight out of me and my husband. So we came home, and mind you, like we had an apartment during all this situation, but we ended up moving out of that apartment while we were traveling, because we figured that we were going to be on the road for like a couple of years, like maybe 2-3 years. We even talked about getting an RV and all of this, but that didn't pan out, because that's just not something that I really see myself doing, because I want my children to have some sort of like similar like upbringing like I had, where, you know, I was around my family and my cousins when I was growing up, and, you know, making those connections with friends and stuff. So I want them to go to like a brick and mortar school. We'll talk about that and how I feel about that now in a different video. But I wanted them to go to a brick and mortar school. I wanted them to form connection with their peers. I wanted them to have more structure in their education, because when we were on the road, it was kind of choppy. So ultimately, we made the decision to come back home. We stayed with my mom for like maybe a month, and then I ended up taking a contract in Orlando, and still having Forex like on my brain. Like I'm still watching Forex videos, still engaging in Forex, trying to get a like idea about how I'm gonna formulate this plan, how I'm gonna attack it. You know what I'm saying? How I'm gonna attack learning it and the skill when I don't have these $3,500. I took that contract in Orlando. We moved out there. We got a house and everything. Expenses was stupid high, above my means. Still making these dumbass financial decisions, you know, and I'm still recovering. We're recovering from that today. Like, yeah. So making these dumbass financial decisions. So that was what was really knocking us down, those financial decisions. So I've been having Forex on my mind now for, like, seriously, since I was able to sit down and really kind of lock in June of 2022. And then now I would say I've been able to really kind of lock in and start studying for real. I never was able, like, I worked that contract in Orlando, but I made just enough money from that contract to pay the bills that we had started accumulating from living in Orlando. Like, our rent was $2,800. Our car note was $1,000. Our insurance was high. I took in my nephew at the time who lived with my grandmother, and my grandmother, his great grandmother, my brother's son, who was having his hardships, and I was helping him through that. And so, like, I had took on so much on my plate that I really just didn't have enough time for Forex. So when 2023 wrapped around, we had a friend reach out to us, and he was he trades what is it? It's stocks, but it's something else. I forget. It's not options, but it's something else that he trades. Whatever he was trading, he's successful at it. Like, he's been able to buy a house so far since he's been doing what he's been doing. And we were gonna jump in. The only thing is that market that he's trading is not an entity in the Forex market, but it's something outside of it, and it's very regulated. So, you know, what they're doing over there, they're doing it for real. Like, it's no, scams. I'm sure there's ways to scam, but in arena, there's no ways, because you have to, like, buy a trading platform. Like, you have to buy the trading platform to even be able to trade this stuff. I really wish I could remember what the damn thing is called. Where we operate in pips and Forex, I think they operate in ticks over there, and what he's doing. And I really wish I could remember what the name of that damn thing is. But so when he introduced us, like, brought us full circle in 2020, because I had drowned, like, in 2020, the end of 2022, after we moved to Orlando, I was just basically drowning, because then my contract ended. Then I made the career decision that I wanted to switch specialties so that I could possibly make more money. So before that, I was a med-surg PCU nurse, and I finished out my contract med-surg PCU. And then I took a full-time position with the hospital that I had contracted with. I took a position as an ICU nurse, so my pay went down significantly lower. And then my pay is lower, my bills are still high, so my pay is just barely meeting the requirements of these bills. And then my husband, he took on a different job. He was working at a restaurant as like kitchen help staff or whatever. And it was helpful, but it was just so annoying, because even with him making $21 an hour, it was like he would have great weeks where he would bring in a significant amount, a good check. But then he would have weeks where they wouldn't, like, he would have that 1 week where he would bring in a good check and was looking up, but then he would have 2 weeks following that where it would be kind of bullshit. It's annoying me, and because, now we have to operate off of our kids are in school. We got to get them to school. We got to get me from work. We got to get him to work, and we got 1 vehicle and 2 adults here, because my nephew is, at the time, 16, but he doesn't drive. So we're paying Uber fees. We increased our grocery bill. Our lights are going up every month. Like, first month, $500. Second month, $600. Third month, $600. Every month after that, $600, $700, $800 sometimes. So they were really, like, sticking the knife in and fucking turning that bitch on us. And like I said, I take full responsibility for that. Like, me and him, we both take full responsibility for that. Like, we know better now to live below your means, because you can't max out your means, because when you ain't got no $1 or $2 left, you barely have money to buy clothes for your kids now. And now you really feeling bad. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I can't do the basic necessities for my children, and I feel horrible for that. So yeah, so we had a rough 2022. His cousin, just to that, whatever he was doing, and we would we thought we would use our income tax, but because I made so much money in traveling, they hit my butt over the head with income tax, and I wasn't able to do nothing. And so we had to use his income tax to try to get into this thing that this guy, well, he was trading, but we just didn't have enough money to even get started with that. So mine went right back to Forex because it's got the least restrictions on entry into the market. So I was like, well, hell, if I'm gonna focus in on this, I'm gonna really focus in on this. And I did. Like, I was studying my ass off. And so my focus was Jessica Lane in the beginning, but it was looking like I was never going to be able to get that capital up to even entertain the conversation of buying that course. So I had to find other avenues. So I just went on YouTube and I was looking up videos like the trading channel, and I would watch those videos, and there's another guy on YouTube that I would watch, and just watching other traders and see what they did to get the knowledge base. And I ran into somebody who mentioned baby pips. I think it was Doyle that video I watched, and he mentioned baby pips. And then I watched, I think, Candace B, and she also mentioned baby pips, and I was like, what the hell is a baby pip? And so I was just watching videos for a good 2 months without looking this up. And then when I looked it up, I was like, oh shit. Literally in my mind, that's how the hell it clicked for me that this is what is, where I'm supposed to be at. Baby pips is where you need to start. So by the time I got around to even starting to kind of get on to baby pips and start reading through the material, and if you've been on baby pips, the school of pipsology or whatever, how you say it, that bitch is all encompassing. So it takes a minute to kind of digest that information and bite it off and get it through it. You got to bear down and kind of just read and take your notes and get through the bitch. But it's a lot of information, you know what I'm saying? So it takes a while to get through that. So I probably got through the first, preschool, I think they call it. And then I kind of backed off a little bit because what happened was, for one of my good friends passed away. And so when that happened, a lot of stuff stopped because she actually had moved in with us and she was living with us and she had passed away. So that was hard. And her child lived with us too, so it was a big change for me. And I grew up with her kids. Her kids are under me, but I grew up with her kids, but I was more friends with her because she's in that age group where, when you 30, you got friends who 40. So that's just how that go. But especially when you're in the South, because, we jump off the porch out here and we wildin'. But, so that was a big blow. And we just had some other stuff going on. And so with that, and then our financial hardships, and we just kind of, we crashed out, for lack of a better term to say. We crashed out and we just couldn't afford it no more. So I ended up transitioning my job to an area closer back to where our family, because our family is from this area. We're within hours drive from all of our family now. When we were in Orlando, we was 2.5 hours away from everybody. So, but this area is much more affordable. We were lucky enough to, get another place that's more affordable and is well within my means, thank goodness. And then I was able to transfer my job down here. I'm actually making more. I'm in a specialty now that's ICU, but I like it more than what I was working there. And so now we're just in the transition phase right now, trying to really, lick our wounds and learn from our mistakes, the mistakes that we made with our finances. So Forex, I've been seriously taking it serious since probably March. But in that time, I've been moving around, as you can see, and stuff has been happening. So now that I'm home and I'm able, and then I lost my computer, or my computer got broke. Now that we're back home in a house that we can afford, we still got that expensive ass car. We thought about getting rid of that, but we just gonna try to grin and bear it and do what we gotta do with it. And then you know, we were fortunate enough to be able to, my husband works his contracts here and there, and then they've been pretty lucrative for him. So that has been supplementing our income. We were able to get a new computer. I got a desktop now. I got 2 laptops now. So getting more calmed down. So now I'm in the position now to really focus in on learning Forex. My plan of attack for learning Forex in itself, because I did buy a course. Okay, so I've gotten pretty far on baby pips. I think I'm on like, I bought a course when I was like on lesson 150, and it's got 368 lessons in total. But I was on like lesson 150 when I decided, you know what, I know a lot, so let me go in and try to buy a course. And it was so funny that I thought that, because that was before, like I knew about candlestick patterns, but I really didn't know too much like about chart patterns for real. And that was before I even got to candlestick patterns and chart patterns. So I don't know what the hell I thought about getting a course for, but I ended up buying Doyle's course not too long ago. And then as I'm watching through the videos, I've watched all his videos on his course once over. And what my feeling from that first time watching it taught me was that, girl, you need to go back and learn the basics. And that's my fault, because on his thing, he says like, this is not a course for beginners. You have to have some level of experience. And so that's my bad. That's me being hard-headed and rushing the process. So after I licked my wounds from that situation, I'm now back on baby pips, and I'm dedicated to finishing the whole thing before I really jump into his course for real, and like really try to get down that trading plan and implement it to a way that fits me. Because I also follow Doyle on Instagram, and he trades like his scalper. I always did want to day trade, honestly, and maybe I also wanted to swing possibly, but I never wanted to really scalp. But I do trust that he is, you know, truthful and knowledgeable about his skill set, and he know what he's talking about. So that's why like I went ahead and bought his course anyway, even though I don't necessarily want to be a scalper. But if it fits, if you also probably, for me, my thinking and how I rationalize it is, I could not want to be a scalper, but what if I'm really good at scalping? And that's just how life is. Like even nursing, like you could go into nursing and you could not be a good med-surg nurse, but you can go to ICU and you could be an amazing ICU nurse. It's just finding out what fits you in your lane, you know what I'm saying, like your career. So that's why I was open to it, you know what I'm saying. But I definitely I jumped the gun and purchased it too fast. I would say that, and I know that. So I'm backing up, and my plan is just to finish baby pips. I don't necessarily write down a lot of notes when it comes to baby pips. I kind of just read, and I would copy paste, you know, some of the information to like a Word document that I want to keep relevant, that I want to hold on to. I write down things like candlestick patterns. Like it's important, really important, to be familiar with these candlestick patterns and know what they mean. And I write down things like chart patterns, and being familiar with this and know what it means. Like I have a really good understanding of double tops and double bottoms and head and shoulders, because I see head and shoulder. I seen a double top on, I think it was GJ the other day. So, and I'm not really for real at the point now where I'm going and marking up charts, but I just like to look at them every now and then just to know like what the goal is for me. So I want to get through baby pips. I want to get more comfortable with candlestick patterns and charting patterns. I do like fibs, but I don't necessarily, you know, I want to know how they work fibs for sure, like confidently. I don't really want to entertain retracement. It's a whole list of things that I really want to get into. I'm not too big on indicators because I did start reading a book. I have One Good Trade. That's not the book I'm reading right now. It's the other one called Naked Forex. That's the one I'm reading. And basically he's just talking about, you know, how indicators, all of them, like, you know, how baby pips is saying like you have your leading indicators and your lagging indicators. But the book's saying, you know, all indicators are lagging. And I do believe that, because for me and my profession, like in nursing, we have our instruments that we use to tell us, you know, when a patient is declining in health, but nothing is more sure than the human eye. Like, you can see it before the tests come back. So, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I view it. So yeah, I want to end this video out now because it got kind of long. It's 30 minutes and I'm not trying to go too much further. Thank you guys for watching it. I'm gonna try to make a video every week. We're gonna see, because I also like have goals financially to meet, because I want to purchase Forex back tester so I can back test thoroughly before I put any of my money into the market. So yeah, we'll talk more about my education plan and how I'm gonna attack this. But that's just a basic overview, how I got to Forex, what I'm doing now. Baby pips is my main thing that I'm doing right now. And you just watching my journey, you know, maybe you'll see my family every now and then. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's chop it up in the comments. Give me some ideas, you guys. You know, let me know if you're a nurse too, because I think I seen one girl on here who's a nurse too, and she be trading. So yeah, bye.
I'm trying to shine, I'm trying to make it out the city.